Okay, so for those of you who are new to our webinars, this webinar is hosted by the Huawei Enterprise Support Community. We provide monthly webinars, technical webinars related to Huawei Enterprise products or solutions. Our technical community has many registered members from all around the world. We have an extensive knowledge base that you can learn from, technical collection, technical magazines, and we also have a solving time for technical issues related to Huawei Enterprise products under 24 hours. We have also created a public recognition and reward system for our most active members. Elite Users program is one of them. The most active members of our community are elite users as well. We have high coins and different rewards in our online shop, which are basically different items which you can redeem by using your high coins. These rewards include physical items like gadgets, but also some gift cards. And every month we have not only webinars like this one, but also different activities. Some of them are just for fun, for interaction. Others are more technical oriented. At the end of the day, this community is a technical community, but it's also a place where you can meet your peers from all around the world, where you can have some fun, interact with others, share your experience, share your knowledge, and also learn from others. So this is what this community is about. And if you feel like this community is useful, of course, we hope that you'll also recommend it to your colleagues and friends. And this is the Huawei Enterprise Support Community in a nutshell. Okay, this was my part. This is basically the main agenda for today, but I will let you take over now. I think it's better if you introduce the topic, and I will
Okay.
not interrupt
Yeah,
you. Okay.
yeah, great. Thanks, Elena, for arranging this, webinar.
Thank
I
you.
think this is, yeah. So good evening, good morning, good day, to the all the people who are joining us from the global, time zone space. Um, so today's topic is in continues to my previous topic on the HCSO background. So today we will talking about more towards the network integration services, how the cloud, uh, host the customer services and how these services can be connected over the network and deliver the services over the network to end customers. So this is our topic for today. I think my introduction is not very new for everyone. I'm Kasim and I'm part of now in the cloud business department in Huawei. So far, I have already delivered a few couple of webinars. You can refer to the community platform where you can find my previous webinar. Also, you can search in YouTube. Those webinars are published in YouTube as well. So I will be hosting for today's webinar. It's a knowledge sharing session to make all of you aware like how this technology works. Before we start, let me just introduce the Huawei because some people who are new to Huawei. So Huawei is the ICT infrastructure company. We are having 190K approximately employee globally and existence in 170 plus countries, and we are having number two in the R&D investments. So far, so we are the largest investor in the R&D centers and having the largest patent in terms of technical sharings to the communities. As far as the our motto, the organization has information layers like the information transformation, the product line for carrying it, the information processing for storage perspective or the compute perspective. All these equipments and solutions are available from Huawei. Then information intelligence, so AI product line is also available from Huawei, and in information distribution and interaction, this also product line from Huawei. So all the product line is available on Huawei right now, and we focus to the three type of consumers. So far, the consumer business or the carrier business group or enterprise business group to achieve our motto to bring the digital to everybody's person, home, or organization to make the fully connected world. So this is the a brief introduction to Huawei to have the all kind of solution and all kind of product line availability from Huawei. Let's look at the IT trend so far, how the cloud era is evolved, how the IT is initiated this point. So if we see the trend like from 1970s, the computing was having the IBM mainframe kind of infrastructure, and then it is later converted to the virtualization technologies, and then moved to the x86 platform. Further in early 21st century, this has evolved with the a large stack of virtualization, and now in the future this virtualization stack can be utilized to as a cloud as a service delivery to all the IT requirements in the industry. So this is how the IT is trending, and then the next future is for the virtualization layer, which has the up layer of the cloud offering services. Okay, so Huawei is value added, in this technology. We are serving the industries and the organizations. As in Huawei, we have the product line from all the data center layer, be it the facility point of view, the uh, whether it's the UPS, power, cooling, modular data center, or micro data center, all this product line, which is you can say that the layer one, equipments are also being available from Huawei, and the data center equipment point of view, where this actually the information is processed, or information is stored, or information is transmitted. All this, the equipment layer is available, whether the Ocean Store family, which has the storage product line, the Tyson servers, which has the server product line for compute, and the Cloud Engine series for the networking equipment. And I think the Huawei is more into non-player as a telecom sector as well. So we have the telecom industry behind this to carry the information and bring the information to every individual by the telco lines. So this is the complete stack for the making the data center, or the equipment layer, or in terms of the software product line as well. Huawei has the full stack solution in the Fusion Compute, or Fusion Cloud, or the Fusion Access as a VDI solution. So all these solutions are available as a full stack from Huawei. As a value-added partner in the cloud community, Huawei is already into main chipset contributor. So we have almost every individual and contributions in terms of AI chipset, which is coming from Huawei, the server management chipset, or the network controllers, or the storage controller, or even the high performance CPUs. They are the contributions from Huawei to make the cloud stack services available to industry. And obviously the upper layer, which is part of the cloud infrastructure services, having IaaS, PaaS, or DaaS, or SaaS. All these services are available, which can be opted by the all kind of industries, whether government, public sectors, finance, or enterprise. All these industries can hook up all those services from Huawei. So we are the value added to make the bottom line and the middle line, as well as the top line for the bringing the services to the enterprises. Specific to today's topic, which is like the hybrid cloud solution, the HCSO. We call it HCSO online system. So in this, we have two type of models. What one is called the full stack deployed on the Huawei cloud. This is the dedicated in terms of hardware, and in terms of the software component to it, and it is handed over to one customer. So this is one model, which is like uh, everything, the hardware plus software is running on Huawei data center, and these services are pertaining dedicatedly to one enterprise. Another model is the on-premises, model, where customer choose his data center to deploy the Huawei cloud, stack. So this Huawei cloud stack is deployed on customer data center itself, and then this can be, acted as HCSO. We call it Huawei Cloud Stack Online Platform, and it is deployed in the customer premises. So this is the Type 2 model, and today's topic is about this Type 2 model also. And HCS Online, as it is a complete flavor of Huawei cloud services, so it has all the all the service availability, whether it's a storage service in terms of EVS, OBS, CBR, or the network services, whether VPC, ELB, DNS. So all the flavors are available as a HCSO. So customer can enable or activate these services in his HCSO and get the service provision for his end customers or for himself. Now today's topic is about the network architecture and the network service availability. So we are going into that. This is like the overall topology, how the networking formed for the cloud deliveries. So our topic is today is purely talking about the direct connection, which is like the customer can connect the direct line, or we call it point-to-point communication, to Huawei cloud services to bypass the internet bandwidth or bypass the internet networking, and he can get connected with his VPC and the services. So to achieve this arrangement, let us understand how the services are being attached in the cloud layer. So the first point is like every services, when it talks to the networking, in terms of networking, it must be part of one VPC. So every services which is hosted on the cloud have the connection with the VPC, and inside the VPC we have many network services which can be arranged, like the VPN, the router, or ACL, or the security group. So the first part is subnet, and this all arrangement has to be done. So this is called the internal networking, or VPC. You can say that it's like a virtual data center for one organization or one enterprise. So this is entirely internal networking until unless we have the upper layer communication to extend the network. So once this service is available within this VDC, we have the four channels to communicate outside. The one communication is using the EIP gateways. So EIP is called the elastic IP. It's a public IP address which can be attached to the services, and using this IP, any external network with the control mechanism, he can talk to the services and get the information. So this is the one way. We call it elastic IP or the EIP provision point of view. So customer has to apply the public IP addresses to communicate the services. The another one is the netted gateway. So netted gateway is also the internet bandwidth sharing concept, in which you can have the netted gateways to talk to your services from the internet. Apart from these two, another two services are called the VPN kind of arrangement, where customer has its own data center. Some part of servers are in his physical data center, and some part of servers are in the virtual cloud. So how they can communicate to each other? So to avoid the internet bandwidth, they can have the VPN communication here, or the direct connect communication here. So here you can see the one direct communication, direct cable, or point-to-point communication is terminated to uh, the the ports, the ether ports here, and then this port is can be handed over to the the client login, or the client account. We call it tenant account, and then this virtual port can be bounded with his router, or with his gateways, or with his subnet to communicate further. So it is very controlled communication channel to talk to customer, like one customer, one VPC, one router. This communication can be end-to-end encrypted and go to the customer network and the VPC communication. VPN, you know that the VPN has the establishment of the tunnel between the customer network and the services network. So VPC can have the VPN arrangement and get it connected. So I think this four type of communication is required. If there are many permutation combination how customer choose to communicate the services, but yes, these are the four mechanism which can be opted for communicating to the services which is running in the cloud. And the arrangement point of view, as I just mentioned, a little brief. If it is like the requester data center who is requesting the direct connection, so he can have the point-to-point communication from his gateway to the our internet gateway switch. So this is the direct communication, and after this direct communication, the cloud layer will convert this physical port to as a virtual interface port, which will be handed over to the tenant account, and this tenant account will use this virtual interface to configure his VPC as an outward network, and then the VPC can communicate using this virtual interface to physical interface to the physical remote interface, and then the whole networking will communicate. To achieve it, there are many methods to achieve it. Whether the for reliability point of view, you can achieve more communication channels. Even 1+1 is also okay. In this scenario, this has like 2+2 communication channel established between the data center 1 to the VPC. So this is more reliable communication channel, and making the HCSO virtual machine talking to the remote host system. So this is the communication establishment here. As an EIP, provisioning point of view, this method is available online. When the account is created in the Huawei cloud, the provisioning point of view, customer can follow this, workflow. He can create a netted gateway. He can create it the static net or the dynamic net to it, and bounded the services behind this net, and the communication can establish from internet to the services. So all this is done by the tenant itself. So Huawei Cloud services, enable the tenant or the customer technical team to establish this networking by his own security manner. So they can make the more secure channels also. Like this example has the EIP communicating to one VPC. So you can say this can be a demilitarized zone, a DMZ zone, where the internet is communicating to the systems here. And internally, this VPC-B is your internal LAN network, where the systems or database systems are attached. So you can have when the secure channel, we call it VPC peering connection. So VPC-A and VPC-B will communicate only for the specific ports to communicate. So this is the secure communication, and you are just exposing the limited network to the external systems. This is just a brief of understanding how the overall services are being associated internally. So you can see here, if one client has the communication channel, he can establish via direct connect or VPN. He is actually lending to VPC. After establishing the VPN or direct connect, the user connection is actually coming into the VPC layer. From the VPC, he can actually communicate to all his services, and they are associated services in terms of storage point of view. The VBS, OBS, or EVS, all these storage systems are there, and the ECS is the virtual machine systems. They can also communicating to the security group or virtual firewall or EIP to make the communication outside, and they are also under the control of elastic load balancer or the auto scaling or the cloud container engines or the image services. So these are the common services which can be hooked up with this, under the same VPC. So this is just a common service accessibility point of view, how the communications are happening from one layer to the another layer. Okay, so now the second part of this session is towards the console access, how the customer can get the console and get this provision. So from the console, once the tenant is created in the HCSO, the user will log in with his account, and with his account, he can after login, he can see all his services which is provisioned for in this HCSO point of view, for all like elastic computing or the cloud container engine. So whatever services he has designed in the design phase, all these services he can hooked up from the HCSO console. And from the other services point of view, like making the different type of images, or the system core number of CPUs or number of RAMs, he can actually create the virtual machines of his wish. So cloud have the S6 and C6 flavor for compute point of view, high compute point of view, or high performance point of view. So this can be hooked up by provisioning point of view. So while provisioning, they have to be properly selected which particular CPU model or which particular configuration for creating the virtual machine inside the HCSO cloud. You can have the dedicated general purpose CPU also, or AI accelerator card also. All these are available in the console itself. So customer can, or end user can choose his wish of availability of resources and make the virtual machine provisioning. So this part is talking to the provisioning point of view. After logging to the console, he can choose any kind of services, like it's like whether he used compute provisioning, or he can use the server provisioning, storage provisioning, or he can choose the network provisioning. Even he can use the security provisioning to protect his networking or the communications, as much as he do the physical network on the physical data center. The same concept or same team can support customer on running on the services on cloud. The another beautification of HCSO is it's coming with the Cloud Eye, the inbuilt monitoring system. So this can help to deep monitoring or even the customized monitoring, uh, with each object level, whether the CPU level or the memory level or the disk level or even bandwidth level or even uplink level. All the layers of objects within this his cloud services he can put as a the policy of monitoring. And under the monitoring data he can get all this live graphs or historical graphs he can capture here. And also he can put up the alarm data. Based on this alarm, he can also further put the logics, like if if the load on the web server is increasing, so he can trigger the auto scaling. The auto scaling can add one more node into the cluster. So this is the automatical script can be run here from inputting the data from the Cloud Eye. Or also he can get the using SMN services, either email or SMS, to the end client or to his users, that yes, some virtual machines are overloaded or some systems are overloaded, or is there any trouble in terms of communication or in terms of availability. So all this email and SMS can be received by the users. And you can see here there is a detailed graph for each performance layer, so it's easy to diagnose where, comparing to the physical data center and the VDC or the HCSO point of view. In the physical data center you don't have the one console for entire monitoring. You must have the third party tools to do this achievement. But in here HCSO you have all this layer of monitoring and all these graphs under the same Cloud Eye. In fact, you can further take the Cloud Eye outputs to your ticketing tool or any other things where you can have the further controls on it. And the next part is like how the HCSO support model is drafted. So as far as the service support are concerned, there are four flavors to end customer to associate the services, whether the basic, developer, business, or enterprise class. So under the enterprise class we'll have more service component from Huawei and the commitments from Huawei to support the customer. In fact, there is a monthly reports also been published to customer. The HCSO customer will get the monthly reports in terms of all the faults occurred in the month, or what is the load on the ECS, what is the network utilization. All these reports will be published within this monthly reports. The another section of today's topic is to how the tickets are created from the HCSO system. So they will get the login credentials on the public cloud. From there they can log into this his ID, and they can create the ticket, and the service ticket can be pointed to the HCSO site, and they can raise a concern or the tickets, and it will be automatically passed to the level 1, level 2, level 3 engineers, and within the span of SLA the resolution will come. Even tracking can be done by end customer or the end user. So he can do the service track of his tickets from this tracking system. So it is like one complete solution at the HCSO, which can give all the monitoring point of view, administrative point of view, management point of view, monitoring point of view, all point of view, all this coming under the same console. And further, for the self-help learning point of view, so Huawei has the two methods. One is called the the online training courses. So Huawei has the I think most of you already have the talent accounts. So if you don't have, you can search the talent website account and create the talent account. You will find a lot of courses available for the cloud learning, and you can associate those learning and make the module, the completion for your learning. So you will find all cloud associated, the storage, server, network, all equipment related learnings available on the online training platform. We call it talent platform in Huawei. So you can find it Google also. You can do the talent Huawei. So you will land it to that page, and you can register your courses directly. And the another pointer is the help center point of view. So each console, like the console login console, also supported by the help center. So these are the quick link for each user. They can get the compute level of information for how their BMS, how their elastic cloud services working, or what are the parameters he can do. Much association or much fine tuning on those things, storage layer or network layer or the container service layer or the security layer. He can find his topic, and he can find the quick help from the help center. So these two topics also the end user or end customer can take up. Yeah, Elena, now I come to the end of this session for today's sharing.
Okay, I was just sharing the link with the training courses. I think they would be useful for our participants today. And I will also share the other link with the support website. Okay, yes, I will share the recording. I will also share the links in the webinar post. I think it's better to have them there as well. You can also find them here in the chat, but I will also share them in the post. And since I said webinar post, I will also share the link to the webinar post here in the chat, just so that everyone understands what I mean through webinar post. So here is the link to the webinar post. Basically, this post was created in the community for this webinar. As I said from the beginning, we have an activity for you today. If you answer the following 3 questions correctly, you will get a chance to win 600 high coins. I also need to mention that Huawei employees cannot win high coins, so only external participants can win high coins. Please know that. And of course, the questions are based on the content that was presented today. But before we show the 3 questions, I want to know if anyone has a question, if there was something that was not clear or something that you need to be answered before we go to the Q&A in the forum. So if you have a question, please, you can either use the chat or you can raise hand and I will unmute your microphone, okay? So if you have a question, this is the time to address it to our host today. Let us know if you have a question, if anything was unclear, or if you just want more details on a certain. Okay, Farin Ahmed just wrote, I have a few questions. Do you want to write them or do you want to use your voice to express them? Okay, so I think you prefer the chat, right? Then I will kindly ask our host today to check the chat to see your question. The question is, when will Huawei Cloud be deployed in Pakistan? I'm not sure if our host knows this. He's not from Pakistan.
Okay, so yeah, I think this question is a point of expansion point of view. So right now, the region wise, the Asia Pacific region already have the existence of cloud. Even Pakistan services can also be hooked up. India service or any other country services are hooked up despite of agreement of the data transferation. So I think in the future the expansion can come to the country level as well.
I see Farin Ahmed has another question. Is gateway necessary for each VPC to connect to Huawei Cloud?
Okay, so as I mentioned that there are 4 type of interconnections, the EIP and the gateway, netted gateways, or you can have the VPN connectivity and the direct connectivity. So for direct connectivity, the gateways are required, and the VPN connectivity gateways are required. But EIP, you can directly associate it with the virtual machines directly and get the connection done.
Okay, and there's one more question.
Okay, all the services are showing in on your slide, does it? Okay, so those
Yeah.
are the those are the services of overall cloud deliverables. However, when the HCSO model comes in, it has the design principle, how many services customer wanted to activate. So based on that, the hardware will be classified, or the number of nodes will be classified. So it actually depends upon how many services customer want. So obviously, the answer is depending upon the requirement from the customer, how many services he wanted to activate. So those can be enabled in the HCSO platform.
Okay, I see we have one more participant who has a question. I will unmute your microphone now. Hello, can you hear
Hello.
me?
I do have a question regarding this webinar. Actually, I want to ask the speaker if there is any specific certification for, let's say, uh, to begin and to study cloud in Huawei. Is there a specific certification for it or course
Yes,
that you
so
recommend?
yes. So basically, all Huawei product line or all Huawei technologies are covered under the associate level, professional level, or expert level certification. Even the last one is the architect level service, certification. So in terms of cloud domain perspective, so cloud has the 2 type of tracks. One is called cloud computing track, in which it's majorly talking about the technology interconnections, or the open stack integrations or integration with the other clouds. So that is a technical layer of the cloud. So that is called uh, the the cloud certification in cloud computing domain. So cloud computing also have HCIA, HCIP, and HCIE. A means associate, P means professional, and E means expert. So this layer is called cloud computing certification. The another layer in cloud domain is cloud service domain. So cloud service domain is pertaining to how you are handling the services, how you are associating the services within the Huawei cloud, how you are exposing the networks, how you are interconnecting those related to the services. It's not towards the designing the cloud deliverables, but it is towards the services associated on the cloud. So that has the associate level certification, professional level, and expert level. We call it HCIE service domain, HCI service domain in cloud. So associate, professional, and the expert level certification. So depending upon the need and the growth path of your the people who are supporting or who are associated with Huawei cloud domain, they can choose their level, whether associate level or professional level or experts level. There is a qualification requirement for each certification. So if a person is qualified, he can apply those learning. And to get the learning, I just give the idea that there is a special website, we call it talent website. In the talent website, you can find the learning platforms for preparing associate level learning or professional level learning or the expert level learning. All the learnings are available there. You can follow those learnings.
Yes, I also shared the talent website in the chat. I see one more question. Hello, Nafisa Noor, can you hear me? Hello? You are unmuted. I'm not sure if you can hear me. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing your name correctly either. Hello? We can hear
Okay.
you.
One more question. I think I see from the slide, the top one, Azure Cloud. What is it, Farina Ahmed? I mean, like Azure and other clouds. What is that question? I could not make it correctly. Gateway, I have already answered.
And there was one more with designing is very important in any technology for partners. So in case of Huawei, that's Huawei partner and distributor, I think, will help us in designing any solution for our customers. Okay.
Yes. So as a part of Huawei, ecosystem, we associate the partners and serve the customer together. So for the designing point of view, there are two type of partner. In fact, the partners are classified into the technical contributors partner, or they are the solution partners, or they are the service partner. So depending upon their capabilities, they can contribute in the the project. And yes, for the customer point of view, the partner based solution can be designed.
Okay, I see one more question. Just a second, please. Wasim, can you hear me? Wasim Akram. Hello? Wasim Akram, I'm not sure if you can hear us. Do you have a question? Hello?
I think we are into different meeting.
Yeah, well,
You can mute them.
we don't have a good sound. I will try one more. So, Nafisa Noor, can you hear me? Do you have a question?
I think they also on different. Okay, so do we move to the next part of Alina?
Yes. Let's. You can please present the three questions. I will also add them in the community right after we finish the live webinar. I will share the link again. So this is the webinar post. You will have to go to this post and answer the questions under this post in the comments section, not here in the chat, please. So please go to the community, to the post I shared now, and answer the questions here. Okay. Now we are just showing them, but you need to answer them in the community and not in the chat, please. So this is question 1, true or false kind of question. I think it's a pretty easy one. Okay. So is Huawei Cloud Stack Online a hybrid cloud solution, true or false? I think we can go to the next one. Question 2 is also a true or false type of question. Do we need EIP for direct connect interconnection between customer network and Huawei Cloud Stack Online? Okay, you can answer, but please, in order to be considered for the rewards, you need to answer in the community, okay? So you need to go to the webinar post and answer the questions there. You can leave a comment below that post and you can answer the questions there, okay? In order to qualify for the rewards. So this, you need to go here to the link I shared in the chat, and you need to leave a comment below this post with the answers, okay? So thank you for your understanding. Okay, let's move to the third question, please. Third question, it's a multi-choice question. Please select the answers that apply, okay? The networking integration services which are supported by the Huawei Cloud Stack Online platform. As I said, I will also share the questions in the post, so don't worry, you'll be able to find them there as well. I will also share the recording here in the post, so everything will be in the same place for your convenience, so please don't worry. Now, as I said, we are just showing you the question, just to give you a start. Okay, please go to the next slide, because I also want to ask everyone kindly to go to this link that I shared now, where we invite you to share your feedback on this webinar, but also on all our webinars. If you think you have some suggestions for us, some recommendations, especially for webinar topics that we should approach in the future, if you can recommend us a good speaker that you know, everything, your opinion is very important. It will help us improve our webinars. Of course, you can also get some high coins, but I just hope that you will fill in the survey to help us improve the webinars, because at the end of the day, the webinars are created for you, so they need to be useful to you. We need to make sure that they actually help you, that you actually learn from them. That's the main point of the webinars. So if you can take a few minutes to fill in the survey, I would really appreciate it. I just want to thank you all for your support. Thank you for not only for attending today's webinar, but for attending other webinars in the past as well. I know it's difficult to join live sessions, but I just want you to know that I really appreciate it. I appreciate that some of you have already shared your recommendations, suggestions. I reviewed all of them carefully, and trust me that I'm trying to implement everything that can be implemented to improve the webinars. And before we end today's session, I also want to invite everyone to join the annual user gala, which will take place next year in January. I really hope that you will join this special event, where we will celebrate not only the most active members of our community, but all the members of our community. You are all very important to us, and through this gala, we will be able to celebrate together, to share some fun videos, to share some memories, and also you'll have access to many rewards. I will also share the invitation to the annual user gala in the chat. So here it is. It will take place on January 10th. I really hope that you will be able to join us. As I said, it's a really special occasion. The more, the merrier. So I hope to see you all there in the gala next year. Thank you, of course, Mohmmad Kasim, for another great session. Thank you for all the great sessions, and of course, I hope that we will collaborate again in the next year for more great webinars. Thank you all for attending today. I wish you all a great day, evening ahead, depending on where you are from, and see you all very soon. Thank you. Thank you again.
Yeah, thanks, Elena, and thanks everyone to join for today's session. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you all.
Okay.
Bye-bye, everyone.